Oh, hey, what up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. My bad, I was smoking that good shit. Got that from Oscar De La Hoya. Uh, excuse me. So I was just smoking on that good shit, and I want to talk about some interview I just seen with Oscar De La Hoya. Now, Oscar De La Hoya just did an interview, and he said he's getting tired and restless of waiting for the Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather fight. I agree with him on that. It's been far too long. I really don't even give a fuck that much. You know what I'm saying? I'd watch it and all that just to see the outcome finally. But I've already come to grips with what it is. So I agree with him on that. He goes on to say that the biggest fight that could fill the void of Mayweather Pacquiao is Miguel Cotto versus Canelo Alvarez. And I agree that is the second biggest fight in terms of blockbuster fights. There's a lot of other good fights, but that has to be the second place fight. That is a good consolation prize, if you will. So we still have no disagreements there. But he keeps talking, and he goes on to say that Miguel Cotto versus Canelo, if it were to happen like ASAP, 2015 in May, he's saying it'll go 2 million. He says he sees no reason why it can't go and sell 2 million pay-per-view buys. Now, that's where we defer. I don't agree with that. Now, let me talk about it in this video. I think Oscar needs to get checked back into rehab for that comment because I don't see it. Let's talk about it. And I like Oscar. Oscar, he seems like a good dude. He's trying to do what's right for boxing. Bury the hatchet with Bob Arum. He moved Canelo back to HBO. So agreed that Canelo-Cotto is a huge fight, and it's a fight that I really, really, truthfully want to see. I just don't see it doing 2 million. There's a variety of different reasons. If you look at the numbers game, nobody, in not even just boxing, nobody is doing the types of numbers that they used to do or once did in different arenas. Like you can even take music, for example. Music, Eminem went diamond, you know what I'm saying? He was selling like 1 million in the first 3 days or whatever, just crazy numbers. And his last album dropped, and I'm pretty sure it did well for CDs in this generation. You know what I mean? He did better than other people, but he's not doing the types of numbers that he did back in the 2000s. You know what I'm saying? When he came out with Marshall Mathers LP or whatever, things like that. Same thing with Mariah Carey or any big star, anybody who was a big star in like the mid to late 90s to the early 2000s that are still relevant. I guarantee you they are not doing the types of numbers. And that's simply because times have changed. Now we have so much information at our fingertips. People pirate and stream fights. They pirate CDs and movies and bootleg. And there's devices, iPads and Samsungs. And you can get all of this stuff at your fingertips. You know what I'm saying? So when Mayweather fought De La Hoya, it set a record. The times were still a little bit different, in my opinion, because I personally purchased that fight. I bought the pay-per-view. I had a couple people over to my place, and I purchased that fight and paid for it, no problem. And I used to actually have bootleg movies and stuff. I've always been pretty into computers and stuff. I used to actually slang and shit back in the day, like sell CDs and shit to people. And there was no streaming back then. I didn't have like I didn't know of any quality sites that you could go to, quality, where you could watch the Mayweather De La Hoya fight. You know what I'm saying? So I bought it. Nowadays, that's not the case. I actually wasn't thrilled with Pacquiao and Marquez 4. I was like, fuck, again? So I streamed that particular fight, and it turned out to be an exciting, great fight. But I streamed that fight, just like a lot of people streamed Marcos Maidana and Mayweather Part 2. I streamed that one as well. You know what I mean? I have no problem supporting boxing. I have no problem putting money, but certain fights I'm not paying for. You know what I mean? Especially when they're trying to have a pay-per-view every fucking other month and stuff. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's too much. It's a lot. You know what I mean? I already invest a lot of time and energy into boxing as it is. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, De La Hoya saying it'll do 2 million pay-per-view buys. I don't see it. You know what I mean? Look at Mayweather's numbers are declining. Obviously, he's with Showtime. I think HBO still is a bigger network, bigger entity. So Canelo-Cotto on HBO will do good numbers. It would do really good numbers. But 2 million? That's steep. Pacquiao, Mayweather, they're like the top dogs, the top earners, you know what I'm saying, in the last decade. And they're not even doing numbers like that. And there have been opponents, you know what I mean? Mayweather and Cotto, that's a big fight, you know what I'm saying? And I think if memory serves correctly, Mayweather and Cotto did 1.4 million. And Pacquiao Cotto didn't even do no fucking 2 million. So I really don't see it, man. I know Mexico versus Puerto Rico have given us historically awesome fights. Some of the best fights I've seen in my life have been Mexico versus Puerto Rico matchups. Great fights, you know what I'm saying? So I know there's a big community that will support it. I'll support it. I know a lot of people in the YTB will support it. I still don't see it doing 2 million just because, like I said, times are different. People stream. Not everyone's going to buy some fights. And then that's just the standpoint of where the culture is, if you will. You know what I mean? Just the digital age and stuff like that. Next thing. Canelo is off of a rather shaky performance. And I know he's going to fight Clottey or whatever, but I mean, if he blows through Clottey, I don't think the boxing public, the people that know this sport, I don't think they're going to be rejoicing like, oh, this guy is back. Now, if Canelo was fighting Erislandy Lara or some shit like that in December and they didn't fight already, and he was fighting him or Demetrius Andrade and he knocked out Lara or he knocked out Andrade, then you have a stronger chance of getting over a million, you know what I'm saying, mid 1.4, 1.5 million, 1.6 million even. That, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? Because that means Canelo did something like extraordinary. He took a guy like Lara, knocked him out, guy like Demetrius Andrade, a prospect, knocked him out. I don't think the boxing public is going to give Canelo that type of credit, even if he stops or knocks out Josh Clottey. We've seen Clottey and how he responded to Pacquiao in the lighter division, and he disappeared for a whole hell of a long time, and then he came back and he had like 2 solid performances against really nobodies. People aren't going to be clamoring for the fight. Like, basically, people already want to see Canelo-Cotto. By Canelo in December facing Josh Clottey, nobody's going to be like, oh, I really got to see Miguel Cotto versus Canelo now because he ran through Josh Clottey. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense to you. So I really don't see it. Now, Cotto on his end, he set history, and then he became the first Puerto Rican to win championships in 4 divisions. So his performance against Sergio Martinez is that type of upper echelon. You can say whatever, Sergio was hurt and he's not the same, but it's still a good name fighter, and he still mopped him. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even competitive. So as far as Cotto, he ran through his last 2 opponents, both Delvin Rodriguez, which was a tune-up fight, and he ran through Sergio Martinez, which a lot of people, including myself, thought Sergio was going to be too much for him because the speed and the southpaw, and I thought Sergio was much bigger, and you know what I'm saying, everything. And I was wrong. So I would say Cotto is off of a performance that could make this the, you know what I mean, the Transformers of all fights or whatever in recent memory. But realistically, I don't think the fight Canelo is going to be in is going to catapult it to the next dimension. Like I said, Cotto has done that with his most recent performance against Sergio Martinez based on the caliber of opponent and what we've seen Sergio Martinez, hurt or not hurt, look like. Canelo fighting Josh Clottey is not that type of fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, what has Josh Clottey done in Anthony Mundane? He knocked him down 4 times. Like, you know what I mean? It's not that type of fight. So I just don't see it. You look, do the history. You could be like, oh, ego, you're just hating, you're mad. Like, I'm not mad. I want to see the fight. I'm not complaining about that. But I don't agree with Oscar saying it'll make 2 million. I just don't see it. You look at Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo. That didn't even do 2 million. You know what I'm saying? In pay-per-view buys. And you mean to tell me undefeated Mayweather versus an undefeated Canelo and calling it the one and shit, and Canelo being off of a performance against Austin Trout where he hurt Trout and he looked pretty good in the fight. You know what I'm saying? Some people say it was closer or whatever, but he still had Trout hurt. Trout was undefeated. Trout just ran through Cotto. It was a good, solid win at the time. Austin Trout has seemed to slip a bit since then, but at the time, it was a good fight. A lot of people gave Austin Trout a chance to beat Canelo. They said, oh, he's too slick. He's a southpaw. He ran through Cotto. Canelo's going to have problems with it. So you mean to tell me Canelo, obviously getting past Josh Clottey, is going to catapult us to 2 million views in pay-per-view, but Mayweather undefeated, Canelo undefeated, and off of a good win in the Alamo Dome with 40,000 people, you know what I'm saying? That didn't do 2 million, but this is, you know what I'm saying? So I just think, I thought that was like ludicrous for him to even say, but I respect the hustle. Oscar De La Hoya, that's his hustle, you know what I mean? He's a promoter now. He's no longer a fighter, and that's what promoters do. So I'm not mad at it. He's going to tell you whatever he thinks he can to help build hype and sell the fight. That's what promoters do. Look at it when they were doing the HBO 24/7 with Victor Ortiz and Mayweather. He was talking all kind of, Victor Ortiz is a young and strong champion, and he really has what it takes to defeat Mayweather. Like he was like really convinced. Like, come on, Victor Ortiz. I mean, it was gonna be a good fight, but did you really, truthfully, in your heart of all hearts, think that Victor Ortiz was gonna beat Mayweather? Like, honestly, like for real. You know what I mean? He did the same thing. Canelo is a young and strong champion. He makes a strong case, a really strong case for Mayweather, and the blueprint and all kinds of shit. And like, come on, like really? Canelo, strong case. Like, so, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Oscar's going to be a promoter. He's going to try to do what he does. I would like to see the fight, however. I do want to see Canelo-Cotto. Excellent fight. Despite him fighting Clottey, I just don't think it's going to sell 2 million. You know what I mean? And if it does, then, you know what I mean? I will eat crow. I just don't see it. You know what I mean? 2 million is fucking astronomical. You know what I mean? I don't even know what Mayweather, I don't even remember what Mayweather De La Hoya off the top of my head sold. But it's up there. You know what I mean? And I don't doubt that it can break gate records or like fucking merchandise records or anything like that. It is a good fight. It's a strong fight. Both have a healthy size fan base. Both Miguel Cotto and Canelo. There's no doubt about it. To me, Canelo is a superstar. But coming off of a suspect performance, and I hate to say suspect, but it's hit or miss. You know what I mean? Some people will say Edeslandi Lara should have won, and some people will say Canelo won. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, Lara ran. But then there are people that said Lara should have won by a small margin. You know what I mean? So being off of that, then an Angulo before that, and then the shaky Mayweather performance where he looked horrible in that, I just don't think everything equates to 2 million. You know what I mean? I can't see it. You know what I mean? I think Canelo would, like I said, if he knocked out Edeslandi Lara and then he fought Demetrius Andrade and then he knocked him out, or one of the Charlo brothers or somebody else who's you know what I mean, on top of the division, or even a James Kirkland. If James Kirkland didn't pull out or end up taking the fight, and he looked good in the Lara fight without a shadow of a doubt, beat Lara, and then he beat James Kirkland, you know what I mean? That would honestly up the ante for me, and you know what I mean, I would give him even more buys based on that. But beating Josh Clottey, in my opinion, Ego's opinion, I don't think is enough to catapult this to no fucking 2 million pay-per-view buys. That's just my honest, humble opinion, but I do want to see the fight. Let me know what you guys think. I put the link in the description. It's on my Instagram of the video of the interview with Oscar De La Hoya. Like I said, he's just being a promoter and doing what he feels fit. So shout out to him. Make sure you like my video. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.